On tonight's CTV News, Canterbury's youth services are the recipients of community funding. And Sarah Chief Executive Roger Sutton indicates the government department could be around beyond 2016. This is CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. Due to a surge in demand for youth services post-earthquake, 35 community organisations have missed out on critical funding. Marcus Gibbs reports.
Hello Youthline, this is Tina.
Manning the phone lines thanks to a boost in funding. Youthline's one of 75 organisations that have received funding from the Canterbury Community Trust in its latest funding round for youth. The organisation applied for funding and much to its surprise it received every dollar it was seeking.
We applied for $50,000 and we were absolutely thrilled to have received $50,000.
How often do you get the full funding that you apply for?
It's actually unheard of to get the full funding that we apply for. It's very, very rare that that happens.
However, not all organisations were as lucky. The Canterbury Community Trust received more than 110 applications, totalling $4.5 million. However, with a budget of just $1.6 million, 35 of those applications missed out. The Trust's Chief Executive, Louise Edwards, says the trustees had some very difficult decisions to make in allocating the funding. She says funding was approved for those organisations working with young people at the crisis end of the youth sector. The huge demand highlights that Canterbury young people are still dealing with the aftermath of the earthquakes. Big Brothers Big Sisters is one organisation that's missed out on a huge chunk of its funding. The mentoring service for young people initially applied for $75,000 but only received $30,000. The organisation will use the funds to provide mentors for about 20 children in the northwestern suburbs of Christchurch. Citywide, they're currently helping 140 children.
This is not about saying that the children in northwest Christchurch have any greater needs than anywhere else, but recognising actually that there are needs for children in the northwest of Christchurch, and there are very few youth services in that part of town.
Another youth organisation, the White Elephant Trust, has recently moved into a new building. As a result, the cost of their lease has more than doubled. In the latest funding round, it was seeking $50,000 but only received $20,000. It's grateful for the funding, but financially it makes things tight.
It just probably means I have to apply for more money elsewhere, so a little bit more time invested in funding applications with other trusts.
Youthline says the organisation is used to not receiving the full amount when seeking funding. It's a battle that all community organisations face.
We're aware of that as an organisation, so we factor that into our applications, that we apply for X amount and we're fully counting on the fact that we will not receive that full amount.
Youthline's been around since 1970 and has evolved over the decades. These days more young people are texting in for help instead of calling. Last year they received more than 10,000 texts and volunteers contributed close to 2,000 volunteer hours.
The demand's really high, and we've noted that the needs of young people have become more complex. Some young people think they need to be at crisis points before they contact us, and we want them to be aware that, hey, we're here to chat through anything that's going on in life.
Highlighting how hard youth are finding life in Christchurch post-quake. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
It's another year of the 40-hour famine. Emma Cropper caught up with a local who's travelled to Malawi to see the difference the fundraiser makes firsthand.
It's been 40 years of giving back. World Vision's largest fundraiser wrapped up over the weekend, with thousands of Canterbury students playing their part.
Christchurch Girls had a hike for hunger, Darfield High had a disco at school, and there were heaps of things happening, which was really exciting.
This year the 40-hour famine marked its milestone of running for 40 years. And in 2014, the focus was on the people of Malawi, who are facing a food crisis on an emergency scale. Malawi has a population of almost 15 million, but 74% live on less than $1.50 a day. 65% of illnesses and deaths are caused by malnutrition, and 1.8 million are affected by the flood crisis. Cantabrian Anna Cusack is this year's World Vision Youth Ambassador. travelling to Malawi in January to see firsthand the effects of famine.
You met families over there that earn $30 a year and families that live on 50 cents a day. So what we're doing here is going to make such a profound difference.
After seeing what impact World Vision has in third world countries, Anna Cusack saw firsthand where the money raised from the 40-hour famine was going to.
We got to sit in one hut and hear a family story of how they lived, and at the end the father actually shed a tear, thinking that the people of New Zealand care about his plight and care about his struggles, and they will be so blown away to see how many people have done the famine this year.
Even buying a $40 goat for a family, providing them with the means to feed their family and provide an income.
It's really encouraging seeing the people of Christchurch, and especially the youth of Christchurch, really getting on board. And seeing people not eating or giving up their cell phone or not talking, and especially when they're having sleepovers and doing it together.
But the 40-hour famine has evolved over the years. Gone are the days of fasting on barley sugars and juice boxes. Now students are finding creative and quirky ways to raise awareness.
I heard one hilarious thing that someone did last year. They lived in a portaloo for 40 hours. So I think it's pretty cool that people are doing different things.
This year, Anna spent the past 40 hours living off nasima, part of the staple diet of Malawians.
Maize flour, so pretty much ground maize, like corn, and water, and that's it. So it looks like a congealed form of rice and doesn't really taste of anything. So it's not exactly filled with nutrients.
Over 120,000 people in New Zealand took part in the 40-hour famine this year. A chance for locals to make a difference overseas. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Hazardous materials found on the former Sydenham Heritage Church site are not concerning the Heritage Trust. They're pleased to be moving forward with the site.
The former Sydenham Heritage Church remains in rubble since its demolition several days after the 2011 earthquake. Following a lengthy struggle with insurance, the site hasn't been able to be cleared, but that may soon change. The Christchurch Earthquake Recovery Authority carried out a hazardous materials survey on the site, where they found traces of asbestos and lead paint. The Sydenham Heritage Trust chairwoman, Dorothy Hayward, isn't concerned about the hazardous results, saying it may be from the lead paint on the old church's balcony. The Heritage Trust, who owns the lot on the corner of Brougham and Colombo Streets, is pleased an end is near for the abandoned church site. An insurance discharge document has been sent to the Trust with the final settlement amount from the Christchurch City Council. It's now up to the Heritage Trust to review the documents and consider its next steps with moving forward.
Coming up, Roger Sutton indicates Sarah will be around beyond 2016.
Join us tonight at 6 for DW World News. Informative, lively, international news, breaking stories and global developments. DW News, weekdays at 6 p.m, right here on CTV.
Christchurch has its very own enchanted utopia, the Hitching Post. Pop in and see for yourself. A magical assortment of handmade creations, custom-made candles and artwork. Choose from our huge range of water features, garden art and imported giftware. Specialists in handcrafted metal artwork made in store. Nestled on 722 Marshlands Road, the Hitching Post, defining art our way.
With so many car fans in the region, Canterbury Christian Funeral Services have been asked very often if they had an enthusiast hearse. So they bought one. The Ford Galaxy is a custom-built hearse for those who want their last journey to be a memorable one. Complete with racing motor and exhausts, the vehicle certainly stands out, and if you want to go out in something that's very different, or you want your loved one to have their last journey very special, contact the team at Canterbury Christian Funeral Services.
Avoid the monkeys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options are also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring, moving company.
Oi!
Come in and meet the locals at the Bush Inn Centre. Whether it's to grab a coffee on the go or to catch up with a friend over lunch or dinner, the Bush Inn Centre is the perfect place. With our unique range of shops, you'll find everything you're looking for and more. Our friendly locals are always happy to help. We have plenty of parking at the Bush Inn Centre, making your shopping experience just a little bit easier. So come in, meet the locals and shop Bush Inn. You'll find us on the corner of Riccarton and Waimari Roads.
Al Jazeera News, international news right off the satellite, bringing you up-to-the-minute coverage of world events. Al Jazeera News, weekday mornings at 6 o'clock, right here on CTV.
Flash News set, isn't it? Red and Black Sport gets a new title as well, but we'll still be talking every week to the movers and shakers in sport. Red and Black Sport, Monday night, 7:30, here on CTV.
Sarah's chief executive has told CTV's Chris Lynch there will still be a need for the government organisation after 2016.
Following the devastation of the February 2011 earthquake, Sarah was given special powers to handle what's turned out to be a $40 billion rebuild. The government organisation is in charge of implementing a blueprint for the central city of Christchurch. Come 2016, the Sarah Act will end, and Sarah's due to wind down. But Sarah's chief executive, Roger Sutton, is hinting there'll still be a need for the organisation itself.
That our special powers last till 2016, you know, their powers to acquire property, demolish buildings, shut roads. But I've always said that no, the organisation may well last beyond 2016.
He says the rebuild won't be complete and an organisation is going to need to handle the workload. That organisation could well be Sarah.
I mean, some of the things are certainly going to go on for beyond 2016. So some of these anchor projects we're building, things like,
that's right.
You know, things like the Metro Sports isn't going to be going by 2016. There'll still be infrastructure that still needs to be fixed. So there'll still be the need for an organisation that that is still building and overseeing the building of stuff.
Christchurch Mayor Leanne Dalzell wasn't available for comment today. However, Labour's earthquake recovery spokeswoman Ruth Dyson says Roger Sutton has now confirmed what she was told at a select committee meeting.
That was gobsmacking news to me. Chris Lynch has confirmed it this week, and I just don't agree with his thinking. I think we need to look at how we can make sure that the responsibilities are very clear in our region and that the resources and the expertise are attached to that responsibility. You need a robust transitional plan to deliver that.
I mean, we don't want to be here any longer than we have to be. But if there's still issues that need to be addressed, then we'll be here doing our best to support the city to really, you know, get it back on track, Chris.
Christchurch City Councillor Paul Lonsdale was shocked to hear Sarah may be hanging around.
Our expectation is that, you know, Sarah would be leaving town, obviously, at the end of their contract in 2016. To hear him saying that they will be carrying on is new news to us as well.
However, fellow councillor Jamie Goff wasn't overly surprised by the news.
In all fairness, it was probably the world's worst kept secret, but I'm glad that it's been said now. I think everyone probably knew that this was going to be the case. You just look at the time frames with those anchor projects, and it's abundantly clear that you're going to need an implementation vehicle to do that.
Councillor Goff is suggesting that come 2016, the council and Sarah should be working closer together.
But I actually think a joined-up approach is probably the most logical way forward, and that's certainly something that I'd favour.
Recently, Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Minister Jerry Brownlee told media it's too early for a debate around Sarah's future. However, Christchurch Mayor Leanne Dalzell wants a plan for Sarah's transition by April next year. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
We'd like to correct an item from Friday's news reporting that the government isn't prepared to fund a public arts display along the Avon River. Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority Chief Executive Roger Sutton says the Crown is already contributing $100 million into the new 3.2 kilometre river precinct. He says about $4 million of the Crown funding for the precinct is being used to bring the art trail to fruition. $2 million will be used for seed funding, another $2 million to integrate the art into the landscape. Sarah expects about $10 million of funding for the art trail will need to come from other sources such as donations. A downhill biking adventure park to be built in Christchurch is being well received by local riders.
A multi-million-dollar mountain biking park will be ready to open next year after the government pledged $2 million into the project. The $22.5 million adventure park will have 120 kilometres of bike trails, along with a restaurant, rock climbing, chairlift and on-site accommodation. The government injected $2 million towards the park, the largest of the 6 projects in its tourism growth scheme. Christchurch downhill biker Dan Corbett is excited funding has been allocated to the sport he loves.
Funding's a pretty big thing, like the gondola could just be so expensive, so it's just making sure that that goes up, and then once that's there people will be so keen to build trails because they can see it's actually going to happen. So as long as they get the gondola up, I reckon it's going to be awesome. Hoping to increase tourism in Christchurch, the government aims to attract international mountain bikers. The Canadian-based developers are spending $20.5 million to build the world-class park in the Port Hills, right in Christchurch's backyard. One of the world-renowned parks in Canada is only open 4 months a year. Dan Corbett says year-round access for the adventure park is something the world has never seen before. Thousands of people in the mountain biking community in kind of each city, and like having an all year round access bike park is just something the world hasn't really seen before. So it's an awesome opportunity for Christchurch, and I really think it's a good use of the government's money. Corbett says an adventure park for Christchurch is huge for the niche sport. Pretty small at the moment. We have some really good riders that compete overseas, but just there's not enough funding. The athletes can't go pro without having full-time jobs, so it's real hard to make a break in the sport. Dan Corbett hopes the park will attract riders not only nationwide, but right here in Christchurch. The park will allow all mountain riders as well as downhillers, and there'll be a variety of tracks, so it's really open to everyone, and it's a great way to start the sport because it's really easy and you're in a safe environment. The tracks are well looked after, they're all well manicured and smooth, so it's a lot less risky than jumping on these where you don't really know what's going to be down them. Safety being a key issue when it comes to downhilling. Racing at top speed down uneven tracks is the nature of the sport. Fear of the unknown could cause serious injury. Dan Corbett says the opportunity for new tracks made means downhillers can be off the roads into new and exciting territory. Normally, like, you have to use the road, which can be really dangerous, like it's real tight and narrow, and there's heaps of other cyclists on, and it's an awesome way to do downhill because you can just smash out heaps of runs in a day and do heaps of sick tracks and jumps and stuff, so it's going to be pretty cool. 315 hectares of forested Port Hills land between Dyers Pass, Worsleys and the Summit Roads will be used for the site. Resource and building consent is currently being applied for. If all goes well, the first spade will be dug in as early as October. Joelle Batista, CTV News.
Some wonderful photography there, but I have to say it probably puts me off the sport rather than turning me on to it. Anyway, still to come, the sport, traffic and weather updates.
Come dine with Country Catering at the Kaipoi Golf Club Cafe. Enjoy our range of delicious $10 lunches, daily specials and other homemade goodies. Open to the public 7 days inside the Kaipoi Golf Club, north end of William Street, Kaipoi. We look forward to seeing you soon.
The Hearst Auto Dismantler's premises has been sold. We apologise for any inconvenience.
Yuck, look at all this moss and lichen. I'm not getting up there, not in these heels. Time to call Mossbuster.
Mossbuster is a no-bleach, non-abrasive, biodegradable solution that has over 35 years of proven results. You can buy Mossbuster online for less than half the cost of other well-known products and can be yours for less than $1 a litre. You just spray it on and let Mother Nature do the rest, or Mossbuster can do it for you. Check out our website or call the Mossbuster crew for a free quote. Mossbuster, 0800 88 1000.
Blackwells has a proud history presenting leading vehicle brands, extensive backup and service for a total one-stop driving experience. Holden, Mazda and HSV new and used vehicle sales, servicing, parts, paint and panel, Isuzu truck sales and service, all together in one convenient location. More selection, more value, more quality and more reasons to make Blackwells your #1 choice. Visit Blackwells today, corner Waterloo Racecourse Road, Sockburn, or online at blackwells.co.nz.
Located at the foot of the Port Hills, Berrymead Golf offers a spectacular location for any occasion. Make your dream wedding a reality with private use of our green function room, outdoor garden courtyard, large marquee and stunning gazebo. Or for your next conference, enjoy the relaxed atmosphere of Berrymead Golf, offering a private, spacious conference room with special deals to make any break a true break. All with customised catering from the Wow Cafe. Berrymead Golf, 50 Berrymead Park Drive, right next to the Berrymead Heritage Park.
Make sure you catch a virtual tour of the roadworks and traffic changes affecting the CBD, each weekday at 7, 8 and 9 a.m. Catch it again during your lunch break at 12 and watch CTV News first at 5 for the latest update.
Well, it's the start of a new week, and that means it's time to look back at the sporting highs and lows of the weekend. Here's Gordon Findlater with all the sporting action.
It was undoubtedly the match of the season to date in the Super Rugby competition on Saturday, with the Crusaders coming out on top of a nail-biting clash that had every ounce of drama. The rivalry match against the Highlanders was predicted to turn up the drama, but no one could have predicted the final product that was put on show. The Crusaders got off to a bright start, mounting early pressure and commanding territory against the Highlanders, which eventually ended in a try to Jordan Taufua. The sin-binning of Richie McCaw a short time after quickly swung momentum in the Highlanders' favour as they quickly put together 12 points to go into the break with a 12-10 advantage. The Crusaders were quick to strike after the break with a try to Tim Perry. Perry's front row partner, Nipo Laulala, was the next to cross the line before Fijian giant Nemani Nadolo was rewarded for his hard work with the Crusaders' bonus point try. At this stage, the Crusaders looked in control before the Highlanders' Malaki Fekatoa dotted down with 15 to go. A late try to Ben Smith set up a grandstand finish and set the stage for the final play of the game, which will remain in players' and fans' memories for years to come. With just seconds remaining, the video ref was called into action after the Highlanders' Patrick Osborne thought he had scored in the corner on the final whistle. However, after several looks from the TMO, it was decided the ball had hit the sideline simultaneously with the in-goal area, meaning the ball was out of play and the final whistle was blown. The 32-30 win for the Crusaders puts them at the top of the New Zealand Conference, with the Highlanders just 1 point behind. Still with rugby, where the 8th round of the Hawkins Cup brought an end to New Brighton's perfect record after they were defeated 48-0 in a rout by Marist Albion. The result means that Marist leapfrogged New Brighton into second spot, while Lincoln University remain on top of the standings after they defeated Burnside 36-3. Other results saw Christchurch move into fourth with a 2015 win over Sumner. Linwood defeated Belfast 59-5, High School Old Boys got up against Sydenham 37-30, while University narrowly edged Sydenham 2019. To basketball now, where the Canterbury Rams' horror run at Cal Stadium continued yesterday after a subpar opening 2 quarters saw them trailing Auckland's Super City Rangers 59-32 at half-time. With the result somewhat already decided, it became damage limitation for the Rams, who ended the defeat with a final score of 106-81. You're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Findlater for CTV Sport.
If you're driving around the central city, CTV's traffic update will assist you navigating the repairs taking place.
Hello travellers, to help you plan your journey around the central city, here's a few tips and an update on some places to avoid this week. Durham Street is still down to 1 lane from Salisbury Street to the south of St Asaph Street. And Barbados Street is slow as well during those peak times due to lane reductions. We recommend where possible to use Fitzgerald Avenue when travelling south, as this will help minimise delays. Don't forget to use the 4 avenues if travelling from one side of the city to the other. To keep up to date on what's happening with the Central City roads, stay tuned, keep watching First at 5 News on CTV, and in the meantime visit the Transport for Christchurch website.
Or of course you can always get the updates that screen here on CTV at 7, 8 and 9 a.m, then again at 12 midday. Well, it's a new week and that means it's time for some new weather music. Now you may recall that we invite viewers to write in and send their suggestions of the music they would like to hear under the week's weather. Well, tonight's track is from Digitalism's album I Love You Dude and is called Encore, and we can always do with more of that. Here's your regional weather.
Kia ora everyone, it's been a very chilly start to the week. Let's take a look at today's estimated temperatures. Down in South Canterbury, Timaru had 8 degrees today, Temuka and Geraldine on 7 degrees. Ashburton 7 degrees for your Tuesday, Methven had 7 degrees, Rakaia 7 degrees for you, Darthfield had 7 degrees today, Leeston and Rolleston had 8 degrees today, Lincoln also had 8 today, and Christchurch a cold day for you with 8 degrees. Akaroa also having 7 degrees today, and out in North Canterbury, Kaipoi, Rangiora and Amberley all on 8 degrees. Let's take a look inland now. Culverden and Hanna Springs, you both were on an 8 degree high today and 8 degrees up in Cheviot. And travelling further up along the east coast to Kaikoura, not looking so great there either, with 7 degrees for your Tuesday. Let's take a look at the weather in your area now. A fine and sunny Tuesday in store with light winds tending northerly but very cool temperatures down in Timaru. Tonight's low -7, tomorrow's high 13 degrees. A frosty start in Ashburton and very cool during the day. There should be some sunshine with light winds. And I hope you've all got something to snuggle up to tonight, because it will be very cold with -4 overnight. Tomorrow's looking a little better with 13 degrees. Christchurch, mostly fine and sunny for your Tuesday too, with cool temperatures and light breezes. Tonight's low -2, tomorrow's high 13 degrees. Kaikoura, a fine but very cool Tuesday ahead with clear skies and light winds. Tonight's low -2, tomorrow's high 13 degrees. Sunshine will be about for other areas tomorrow, but some very cold overnight temperatures. Let's take a look at what we can expect for tomorrow. Methven, you'll have 13 degrees and 13 expected in Rakaia. Darthfield, you can expect 13 degrees tomorrow, and Leeston 13 degrees for you. Rolleston and Lincoln 13 degrees for you as well, and Akaroa 13 degrees expected for you. And out to North Canterbury, Kaipoi and Rangiora, 13 degrees is set for your Tuesday, and Amberley also can expect 13 degrees. Culverden, Hanna Springs and Cheviot, well, it is going to be cold tonight with a -6, but tomorrow a fine day ahead with 13 degrees. Looking ahead for Canterbury, mild northerlies freshening on Wednesday with high cloud increasing, a period of strong northerly winds from evening. Cloudy on Thursday with light showers at first, clearing during the day and fresh cold southwesterly winds decreasing. And it will be frosty on Thursday night. Mostly fine and sunny from Friday through to Sunday with light cool winds. And that's your weather update for Monday. Have a great evening.
And that is CTV News for Monday. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.